Hey guys, it's Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, also the host of the Webtalk Legends Podcast. I want to welcome you tonight, the morning, wherever you're watching from. I want to make sure that you are going to get some major value. Some of the things that I want to kind of keep in mind, a little housekeeping. Don't forget, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the future podcasts that we have on this channel. Also, don't forget, at least drop a comment, hashtag live. If you want to go big and better, where are you watching from? And one step further, do you have a business? Drop that website in the comments while we're having the conversation. If you enjoy it, if you like it, hit the emojis, hit the thumbs up. We love engagement. We want to help you grow your platform, grow you as well. So if you're also interested in getting on board with Webtalk Legends Podcast, reach out to me and we would love for you to share your story. Let me bring on a good friend of mine I've known for a while, Mark Maiocca. What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, Shawn, thanks for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is a different kind of platform. The other one we talked a lot of business. This time we're going to talk about your story, man. We're going to go into what has happened in your past, where you went from back then to now. And the biggest thing is people that are watching, they're going to gain some value from us. They're going to learn. If you were able to do it, they can do it. You can motivate them. You can inspire them. That's the power with what we're going to do. And before we even get into it, can you give us an introduction of who you are and what you do?
Mark Maiocca. I'm the founder of Core 7 Networking Groups. I'm a mortgage originator, and I'm a father of three.
No, it's awesome. I appreciate you taking time out. A lot of people have some fear of getting in front of the camera to share, to talk. Oh, what if I mess up? I know you were live a couple minutes ago. You did a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
How powerful is video for you?
I like it. I haven't honestly got it's something that builds up just like everything else. I haven't gotten the results in actual, I did a video and it made these dollars. I haven't really been able to track that, but it is a great way to get what you want out there. I have a lot of people that have come up to me and said, "Hey, I saw you on the video. Like, I didn't know you saw that, and you did." So it's one of the things that I plan on getting a lot more consistent with.
That's a big word right there. Consistency. A lot of people that are on Webtalk Legends, they're not consistent. They like to just do things once and hope it will continue the snowball effect. The only way to get momentum is you have to be consistent. What's driving you currently? What drives you? What gets you up in the morning, Mark?
Honestly, it's the new business of Core 7. It's my baby. I've been working on it for a long time. It incorporates everything that I've basically worked on in my business life. It has everything from becoming a mortgage originator to being a financial advisor at some time to networking with people. Everything I've learned in my 22 years, it's all in Core 7 with courses and my book. And now it's just really getting ramped up. It's really just getting the word out. For people who want to join a networking group or want this kind of content. Basically, I'm giving what took me 20 years to create. I'm giving it to somebody in a couple courses, all the templates, all the scripts, just everything you can think of when it comes to real estate, mortgage, tax, insurance, and financial. And I'm just excited about it. It's every day I get up and I talk to a new client who likes the idea. I get excited. You and I talked about how we can just get the word out a little bit more, and it's exciting. It's 20 years of just doing mortgage loans. I have to say, I've lost a little bit of the fire to doing that. I still like to, but it's this is the next step in my world, and I'm opening up coaching, which is all based on how these 7 professionals work together. And my real drive is the consumer. I mean, if everybody works together the right way, it's not just about referrals and the professionals making money. It's about the consumer having a full holistic plan and a team in place to protect them. We talked last time about my story, how my dad passed away when I was young with no life insurance, and they sold life insurance. So you never know, and people need the protection. They don't need necessarily the best plan every time, but they need a well-rounded plan.
I appreciate you sharing that with us. And it's something that I like very much about you, man. Like, you are all about giving first. And a lot of us that are in this platform, and especially Scott Gerard, who's the CEO of Webtalk Legends, we're all about giving first. You just said it. You're going to give all the scripts. You're going to tell people how to do certain things step by step, who to have in their networking group. And people say, that's crazy. Why would you give away things for free sometimes? Because that's how you provide value. That's the way, a great mindset for long-term thinkers. What got you into the mortgage business back then? Why did you get into it? A lot of people just fall into it, right?
That's how everybody gets in it. I want to quickly say that you are right. 80% of what we have in the Core 7 system is on the mycore7.com site for free. So anybody can go there and yeah, there's a lot of free stuff. So thanks for bringing that up. I just want to let people know where they can get it. So it's actually a funny story. So when I was in my 20s, after I graduated, I started working for the state, and I wasn't really doing much. It was kind of just, a job that you go to every day and you get a paycheck. And, so I was getting a little frustrated with how it was. So for some reason, I had read Peter Lynch's book, One Up on Wall Street, and I loved it. So I decided I wanted to be a stockbroker, right? And so for some reason, I said I want to just get out of this town. I've lived in Boston my whole life, so I went out to Arizona to be a stockbroker.
Really?
Not many people do that. They go to New York or they go to Chicago, but I chose Arizona. And I went to I had all these interviews lined up, and I went out there and had an interview with Dean Witter. And the first meeting they had was why you don't want to be a stockbroker. And it kind of spooked me. I didn't see how I was going to make it. So I went into this panic, and I literally started sending out resumes. And, here I am out in Arizona all by myself, no family, no friends. I liquidated my retirement account. That's all I had. So I started sending out all these resumes, and I got 2 back. Out of the 50, I pulled an all-nighter, like 2. I didn't sleep for like 48 hours because I was nervous, and I got 2 back. One was from Motorola saying we received your resume, and another was from a basically a multi-level marketing company. And so I was in a little bit of trouble, but I had a cousin out there who lived in Tucson, which, if you know Arizona, Tucson's 5 hours away. So it's not like, right in the same place. And he was a mortgage originator. And he said to me, what do you want? And I said, I want a job that if I do really, really well, the sky's the limit for income. And he said, oh, you want to be a loan officer? I had no idea what a loan officer was. I thought I'd be like carrying a gun, guarding the bank or something. But anyway, I started doing it, and I started learning the business, and he was training me, and I was only there for like 5 months because what I started to see was, wow, I might be able to do really well at this back in my home state where I have all my connections and all my friends and all my people. So I was missing home too. Arizona wasn't for me. So I came back, and I started working at a company, and I had 3 really slow years, but I was loving what I was doing. So I did I think I only closed the first year. I think I made like $5,000 the whole year. The second year, I think was like 12. I was living at home with mom. My third year, I broke 50, and then my fourth year, it took off, and it just started to snowball after that, where I basically got up to, closing a consistent 100 million in loan volume a year. And then, just learning all this stuff. And then I started to feel like I had a higher purpose in coaching, creating products. And I still originate, but I do, like probably 30 million a year. My team handles almost everything. And I just focus on Core 7.
No, man, that's awesome. And that shows, and those that are watching, please, please, please drop a comment where you're watching from. Don't be shy. At least do hashtag live if you're here with us, or hashtag replay on the replay. Guys, it takes time for success to happen. Mark just said it. He didn't make a lot of money the first year, the second year, third year, but the fourth year, that's where things really took off for him. Yeah. And now he's at the point he wants to give back. He wants to help even more, because you're not really getting bored, but you just want a different challenge. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it's, I'm really into the whole concept. Being in the mortgage business for so long, the real estate and the mortgage is like two silos. They don't work together. They work together, but they don't work together the way they should. And everyone's trying it. And a lot of it happens there's a number of reasons, but a lot of it is because, they want to refer each other's, but there's not the opportunity. So what Core 7 does is it has a whole system of how a person comes into the process, say buying their first home, and can leave at the closing and have their whole team in place with people that are collaborating together on their behalf. There's some people, very wealthy people, they have, teams that do this, but you have to get up to a certain net worth that most people don't in order to get that. Then there's, people who are smart enough, they do the education themselves, they read the right books, they get all 7 together, but they're 7 different people, and everybody's trying to control the client share. Everybody's trying to, take, hey, I'm the financial advisor, I want to control the whole team on what they do with my client. And that's better than what most people have. But ideally would be everybody working in their expertise, but having a way to bring up the other people when necessary, so that there's no risk and no holes in the entire plan. That was my parents' thing. They were doing very, very well. And they had one big hole in their plan that they didn't think was going to happen. And it literally was the difference of millions and millions of dollars. Just that one little thing of having, it would have been, $100 a month for proper insurance, and it would have covered everything. And, it was the one hole that sunk us.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sorry to interrupt you. The house that we sold back then, they sold it for $365,000. It just sold probably like 6 months ago for $1.8 million.
Oh, man. Yeah. For those that are just coming on now, Mark's parents basically didn't have life insurance, and it sunk their situation. And he's talked about that. And that's the power of why he put the Core 7 together, having these professionals basically in a synergy, working together as a team to make sure that every loophole is covered. That's a powerful thing. That's what he the strategy behind the Core 7. And I want to pause from the Core 7. I want to find out, you're from Boston. What is 3 things you love doing other than work while you're in Boston?
Going out with my friends, watching my son play baseball, and just spending time with the kids.
No, that's awesome. Some people, they don't want to spend time with their kids, and it's awesome. And I love hearing it. You're a dad and actually there for them. that has changed your life from when you were Mark before kids to having kids, right? It's
Sure.
been more of a driver for you, and you're a mentor for them as well. And they're
Yeah.
older though. They're older at right now. How old are they?
13, 15, and 16.
Yeah, so they're definitely at an age they're looking at dad and seeing what he's doing, and maybe they'll follow in your footsteps. Is that something you're kind of training them for, or possibly?
No, no, they're very independent. They're at that age where dad can't do anything right, but I get it. He's got to stay focused.
Are you a Boston Red Sox fan?
Oh yeah.
I'm a Yankee fan. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah. I
How?
don't hate the Yankees though. Like most Boston people, they hate the Yankees. Even back in the 70s, I had respect for the Yankees. I'm a Boston fan, but what would we be without the Yankees?
How is that stadium? Have you been to Fenway?
Oh yeah,
I mean, how is it? Is it like
it's great.
majestic if you're sitting on the Green Monster and all that stuff? How can you tell those that are watching? There's people from Australia, from UK. Maybe they don't know. They've heard of the Green Monster or Fenway Park. What do you think about it?
Well, I have seats that I go to. I go to about 10, 15 games a year with my son, and we sit in a seat that you can get a foul ball. It's a lot of when the righties are up. There's a lot of foul balls. You're right on the field. It's really a great view. There's not really that many bad seats in the whole house. When I was living in Arizona for that short time, I did go to the very first opening day for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I was way up, and it was funny. Like you had to look down like this to see the field. Where on Fenway, you're just, you kind of just regular, and you get to see it. So it made me appreciate the Sox and Fenway Park a lot more. It was cool seeing another place, but it can't beat Fenway.
No, that's awesome. And Boston's a beautiful, beautiful city. It's a great time, great food, great places to go and see. And I like it. I think I will say it's even cleaner than going to New York City.
Probably.
Because
most likely.
it's definitely good people there. And it's something, if you are watching, if you've ever been to Boston, drop it in the comments. We'd love to see where you've been, because that's where Mark's home is. And we definitely want to give some shout outs for if there's any restaurants you guys love, drop them in the comments. We would love to help them with their businesses and spread the word. Now let's get back to Core 7, man. Can you explain now the 7 professionals that should be in an arsenal for a networking group?
So the reason we created Core 7 was that most networking groups, they had every profession. And one of the big complaints is, at least from the 7 professionals in the financial and real estate field, is, it's nice to meet a lot of people and it's nice to network, but I don't have many referrals for the personal injury attorney or the Mary Kay representative or a web developer or something like that. I just don't have it. It doesn't happen. And it would frustrate people. There's some multi-level marketers in there that they ask you to help, and it's just, no one wants to say no.
Yeah.
So what we did was we said, we're going to make this just for the 7: a realtor, mortgage originator, closing agent, so either a real estate attorney or escrow officer, depending on the state, financial advisor, accountant, estate planning attorney, and property and casualty insurance agent. And then we went with the other complaint, which was the accountability. People are giving referrals. Some of them aren't good. Some of them aren't what they're looking for. So what we created was a system that everyone does every single time. So everybody knows what to expect. And it's not pushy. It's just a series of timely scripts. And people say script and they think it's cheesy, but it's just, call it a suggestion.
It's bullet points. Yeah.
It's like at pre-approval, I always bring up the financial advisor. I say, when you buy a home, it's going to trigger a lot of financial ramifications. How's your relationship with your financial advisor? And that's what we teach, just for the mortgage person to do that every single time. Person can say no, person can say yes, but you're asking the right things and bringing the team together. And we do that for all 7 professionals. So if it's really working, and the other thing, without getting too into the actual system, it's everybody's action benefits or hurts other people in the group. So you really need to have the right people on board. So what that triggered is we created the recruiting package, because what would happen is a group would start and it'd be very enthusiastic, and then they'd let someone in the group just because they wanted to fill it. And the person coming in didn't feel like changing the way they did business. They didn't feel like doing any scripts, and they didn't want to follow a process. So what happens when you're in that situation is that person starts to talk negatively about the whole way the group runs. And that can dismantle a whole group. It's like a bad hire at an office building or a business. It's that one person that's really putting a bad culture around the whole group. Mm-hmm. So we developed what we call the recruiting package, it's the first step is something that helps you meet people. So you send it out social media to your email list, and you get a lot of recommendations for professionals. It's just templated. We make it easy. Then we have a webinar that explains to them exactly how it works. So they're going to get the fact that there is a system, there is a methodology that needs to be learned. And then we have what we call the Director of Selection questionnaire. This is after somebody says, yeah, I still want in. These are the questions where you can really kind of project into the future. How is this going to go? Shawn, I see you rate your mortgage originator a 10. Well, I'm the mortgage originator. So how are you going to do in this group? Because you're supposed to send me referrals per the system, and you have somebody you're happy with. I'm not saying you have to drop them, but how's that going to work? So if that's going to be a problem, that would come up before the person was in the group. So we've given a whole package and a whole way for someone to find that out. That's not going to take up a person's whole day. So like if you headed up a group, you wouldn't have to sit there for hours just recruiting 100 people. You just send the webinar. Hey, if you like what it says, fill out the questionnaire and we'll talk again. And you're just right back to what you're doing. And then when you get really, down to like 3 people for the spot, then you ask the questions like, okay, you're going to be, this is what we want you to do. Are you good with that? And it just has a questionnaire that really gets to the bottom of all that. And one of the things we're doing for a while is we're letting all the group leaders set up calls with me. So if they want to bring people on the call and have me answer all the questions for them on how things work, kind of good cop, bad cop type stuff, I'm here. So that's another benefit for some of the members.
No, that's awesome. Before I'm going to go down a path and explain something, because a lot of you just shared some things that Scott's been doing for Webtalk Legends. And if you're new to Webtalk Legends, there's scripts, there's images, there's things that are there that it's all about creating habits. And I want to find out, if you weren't in the mortgage business, you didn't have Course 7, what would be another option that you would be putting money into your bank account every day? What are some other passions that you would go down and get involved with and try?
That's a great question. There are a lot of things that I think of. The whole creation of online courses and of systems and using the marketing that with webinars and podcasts, that's been something that, we have with Course 7, but that's been something I like the whole, I like everything about it. I like all those parts. So I would probably do something similar to that, but it would be around a different expertise. Like I played baseball in college. I was a good baseball player. And, I coach at younger levels. And I think there's a different way to coach the younger guys than it would be to coach someone in college. And so I would probably want to do like a hitting camp with, maybe some of the instructional courses for how the parents can teach their kids. Because that's what happens. There's a lot of complaints when you send your kid off to be coached by some of these big programs like the AAU. And, these things are all about the coaches. They have huge egos.
Yeah.
So they don't let the parents in the facility, and they make people do things their way. And a lot of parents don't like it. They
Mm-hmm.
they end up getting sour on it. The kid doesn't like it. And the thing that makes a kid love the game of baseball, in my opinion, is the interaction with their dad or their mom, whoever's the one that is into the baseball with them. That was the end. I was playing in college. My dad had passed a couple years earlier, and it just took that little edge for me where I lost a little of the passion not having my dad there. So I would probably do something like that where I'd create some value around something that I know that would help people. And that's the first thing that comes to mind, is helping mothers and fathers teach their young kids, before the age of 12, before it's too serious,
Oh
how to
yeah.
do some things right and enjoy the game.
No, that's definitely an awesome thing. That's a passion. And getting into that kind of business, maybe you'll start doing something more. Maybe you'll start coaching more in the next couple months or another couple years. But it's something that it's in the back of your mind. Maybe if there's things that are not going the way you want to go, you try something different. And don't be afraid, guys. If you have an idea, go for it. Balls to the wall and see what happens. Don't just sit there and regret later on. Oh, I should have done this. That's a shame. Now, you have 3 boys. You had
No,
COVID.
2 girls, 1 boy.
Oh, 2 girls and 1 boy. You have COVID. How is that as far as taking care of them during that time? I mean, it's getting a little easier, a little better right now than it was in the last 2 years. How has that challenge been for you?
It's been challenging. Lots of other people had much bigger challenges. The mortgage business was doing well during that time, so we weren't struggling like some families. It was just different. It was weird. It was change, and it was. I think we probably made it through better than most, but I don't think it was easy for anyone.
No, it's definitely, I see like the finish line. I'm hoping, like both my parents had it. My dad almost died, like when it first came out. Both of my parents had, my dad was on a ventilator for like 3 weeks, and it was crazy. And they are both back to good health, not excellent health, and they both got it again, and it's not as bad.
Right.
So after knowing what they've gone through and what it is now, I'm not as fearful, but it's something that we have to keep keep cautious, because we're almost there. It's going to be around forever, I think. But I want to round out our conversation. What are some things that, if you had a conversation with one of your kids about entrepreneurship, what are some key things that they should be doing to make them successful?
Well, I try to talk to them all the time about this, and they're really sick of hearing me. Number one, do something you love. I mean, that's the key. If you get up and do something that you're enjoying every day, that's the way it was. When I first got into the mortgage business, all I talked about was mortgages. What do you got? You own a home? I just was so excited about it. And that's the kind of passion you have to have. I had the same thing about baseball when I was playing. It's just one of those things, you got to focus on it and you got to love it. My son's always showing me these YouTube guys and all this stuff. And I'm like, why don't you start a channel? And he's like, no. I said, the thing is, if you started anything right now at the age of 15 and you did just a half hour a day and you stayed consistent with it, you'd probably be shocked at what it could be when you're 25, 30 years old. I mean, there's a lot of people I know who've gone to a ton of schooling, and I'm not against schooling, but then I have other friends who never went to college and are millionaires from the landscaping company that they started, when they were a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And money's not everything, but obviously they had a passion for landscaping and being outside or whatever they had to do. They built amazing businesses where they're making as much money as, some big executives. So Passion, number one. I wish I started earlier. I wish I just started chipping away. It doesn't bum me out as much because I never would have been able to do the Core 7 stuff, which is my passion now if I didn't go through the whole mortgage business. But when I think of that baseball thing, that would have been great to just start right away. But that's the thing, and just do what you love, and try to work hard, not smart. One of the things I tell my kids is, I've read so many books. Probably there was a time when I was doing a book a week, and I found that a lot of them say the same thing. There's really about 20 or 30 of them that's all you need, and you have everything you need to know. And I highlight. So I when I read a book, I highlight it. So I tell my kids, just grab those books and just read the highlights. I've done all the work for you. They won't do it, but I didn't start reading till later in life. So hopefully they catch the I want to be successful bug. And that's what happens. They catch the bug, they find their passion, and then every day of work is fun. So you'd never work a day in your life because you're enjoying what you're doing.
Well said, man. I appreciate you, man. This is lots of value. We had tons of people that were gaining this value from our conversation. And if you please connect with Mark, check out mycore7.com. Friend request him on Webtalk. I'm going to have in the description probably tomorrow. I'll have all his contact information. Please reach out if you have mortgage questions. You want to get involved with the Core 7. You want to just shoot the shit with him. He will have conversation. If you're going to Boston, he'll give you some ideas of where to go. And I definitely appreciate you taking time out of your day and being with us here today, Mark.
Thank you so much. I'm always available for you. You let me know when you want to have me on, and I'm there.
You got it, man. Well, thank you so much. And guys, wherever you are in the world, have yourself an awesome day.
Thank you, Shawn.